DJ. Thank you very much, DJ. So good night, ladies, and welcome to Her Grace. I am really happy to see all of you all. You all look beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Give yourselves a round of applause. I know you applaud plenty already, but do it again. So I'm Onikka Narayan, for those of you who do not know. Her grace, you know that God has given us, each one of us, grace to be who he called us to be. So each of us have a calling. God made us for a specific purpose and a plan. And you have been given as ladies, and there's one gentleman here in the audience. You have grace too. Let's give this gentleman a round of applause. Mr. Cuffy. Mr. Cuffy, it is a pleasure to have you in the audience. Men have a special grace too. But what her grace is all about, what her grace is all about is the grace that God has given you as a woman, to be female, to be what God called women to be. I think in today's society, if you all would agree with me, women are losing that feminine touch. In fact, women want to be more like men. Nothing is wrong with the independent woman. You all don't come out for me, please, please. But, you know, there's a grace that goes along with being female. And God has, you were born a female, God has given you that grace. So her grace, Usha, her grace may not be your grace. So that's where I got her grace from. And your grace may not be her grace. So my grace is different to yours, and hers is, y'all get it? Yeah. I am not her grace. I have grace, right? Wanted to clear that up. So guys, I am excited. I want to share my heart with you in doing this. What is my purpose? Before I say that though, I want you all to be very excited, because a lot of people are going to win a lot of things. And the bolder you are, because some of it may require some standing up and maybe doing something, but you could win $100 just like that. You could win like a $300 London clothing store voucher and go and shop for your mother. If you didn't buy her anything, you could get a voucher. You can, it's not too late. Actually, I think London clothing store closes very late, so you have opportunity to win a lot of things tonight. It may require you to come out of your shell a little bit. If you don't want to win, you could stay quiet in your seat at school. Yeah, give the others an opportunity to win. So let me share with you why I'm doing this. First of all, you know the Bible says that to whom much is given, much is required. And I would say that I have had, for want of a better term, a good life. Meaning, yes, I had my little issues, my little trials, but I was blessed with good parents. I grew up for most of my life in a Christian home. My dad was a pastor, and then as fate would have it, I ended up marrying a pastor. I actually didn't want, it was not something that I would, growing up in it, I'd be like, oh gosh, I never want to be a pastor's wife. But that's how it turned out, and that's how God wants it, and that's what I love to do. So I do believe that God has given me a lot. We all have a gift of discernment. We all have wisdom, because God said if you lack wisdom, ask and he'll give it to you. So you could have as much wisdom as anybody else. It's if you want it, right? We need our next Solomon on the earth. Just ask, yeah, maybe, yeah. So I want to share what God has shared with me, the wisdom that God has given me. I want to share that with you. I want to enlighten women. I've seen women growing up in church and being in ministry now. I've seen women make the same mistakes over and over in relationships, in maybe how they would treat with their finances, their career, how they might dress, how they carry themselves. And it's common mistakes. And because, being in ministry and counseling with women and getting wisdom from God, I think I can share to help women to make better choices in life. Because I think who made a bad choice here once that cost them, let's say, at least 5 years. If nobody puts up their hand, I'll give examples for you, I'm sure. Thank you. Thank you. You can make a mistake that could cost you a good 5-10 years, right? And I want to avoid that. I want to help you to avoid that. And it's as simple as, let me tell you something, a decision. As simple as a decision. Making the right choice and being led by God and using the wisdom of God in making your decisions, right? So that's my first goal in this program, to teach, to share wisdom, also to empower you as women, not only to teach, but to empower, so that you can actually leave here feeling, I can do this. I could live this life. I don't have to make mistakes. I don't have to, I hate to ask this, but I'm going to, because it's just women here and we being real, right? How many of you have a baby daddy in your life that you'd rather not have in your life? Huh? You have a baby daddy that there. Not that you love the baby to death. You love your child. You thank God for the child. But you're stuck with this man in your life for the rest of your life because it's his child too. Yeah? There's a better way, God's way. And God has much more wisdom than you. Much, much more. Right? So I want to help you to make better choices, to empower you. Also, I want to give. I'm not a rich person. God knows I'm not. I try to look it, to fool people. But I'm not, right? But we have a small ministry here, and we came together, and we really pooled our resources, and we tried to get as many things as possible to just give. And I just want to do it because I want to bless you all, and that's the truth. And that is going to happen tonight. And then the last thing, purpose in this show is to entertain. I want you all to laugh. I want you all to be entertained. I want you to leave feeling lighter. Yeah? No, if you came with stress, I want you to leave without stress, right? So we're going to have fun too. So speaking of fun, I want to give away $100. $100. $100. You have to bust some nice little decent moves in a dance for me, right where you are. And I choose some nice little moves, nice, small. Listen, once you know, in Trinidad we have a little problem with our waist area. Once you keep that in control, you do your thing, and I choosing the best dancer, simple as that, and you get $100. DJ, bust some music there. That's an easy $100 because I have shy people here. So if you come out, you win any $100. Easy, easy. Bust the music, DJ. Let me see. Okay, DJ. Okay, DJ. What is your name, young lady? Akila is the winner. Akila did some... What? Akila won. Nikki, sorry. Can you present Akila with the... This is my own personal Vanna White. That wasn't hard. She didn't even do all that much. You know what I mean? That was not hard. Anyway, so it is time, guys, to introduce my first guest, Niki Rodrigues. Give her a round of applause. So let me just tell you a little bit about Nikki. I can't tell you everything because we'll have to have another show. But I'll just add briefly, so Nikki is an entrepreneur and a homeschool mother of 8. She homeschools her 8 kids. She has her own business. With her husband's support, she founded 2 companies while having the kids. Daughters of the King, which is a boutique. Her stuff is here. I hope you all took a look. I hope I get a chance to take a look. Daughters of the King is a boutique that specializes in designer dresses, suits, accessories without the designer price. That's a beautiful thing. If I could get a designer dress. Thank you for that, Nikki. She also founded Made in His Image Consulting Services, an image consultancy company that specializes in professional seminars for companies and individuals. She is a founding member of the Homeschool Association of Trinidad and Tobago, which is HATT, and a blogger. Nikki, it is a pleasure to have you with us. First of all, I want to ask, who is Niki Rodrigues?
Nikki is just a simple believer in Jesus Christ and lover of him. A husband, married, of course, for 21 years. A wife, got married pretty young. Right. The love of my life, who's coming back home tonight. Missed him.
It's a pity he wasn't here. You could have joined.
Yes, I guess. Yes, absolutely. Right, so I'm a wife of 21 years and mother of 8 children. All mine, all naturally birthed.
All natural?
Yes, all natural.
Give her a round of applause. So 8, like the movie 8 is enough, like that?
Well, it's not a movie, actually it's a sitcom from the 80s, and I thought 7 was it, but apparently I got a bonus.
Okay. So, was it your intention, Nikki, to have a large family? Was that always something that you wanted to do?
No, actually I was an only child for 14 years.
Wow.
My sister came along when I was in Form 4, So I knew what it was like to be born and be
Right.
alone.
Oh gosh, Kristen,
So-
I'm sorry. Where's she? Sorry, darling.
Yeah, so it's not that it's something that I ever gave thought to, but I remember sometime in my teens, I had really, really debilitating periods. Went to the doctor, and I had endometriosis. And I was told that my chances of getting pregnant was slim to none. Yeah, right.
Sorry.
So the chances were slim to none, but here I am, 8 kids later. So yeah, doctors, I give them the
Yes.
kudos, I give them their props
They've
and
helped me
everything, but
many
there is a
times.
great physician that I serve, and he has the last say.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So we had our first child about 3 years after we got married, and then 16 months after we had the second, and it was like, okay. And then we had a break for about 3.5 years, and then we had our first girl. She's in the back there. She's also an entrepreneur, by the way. That's Amy.
Does she sell, is it cupcakes?
She has cupcakes.
Yes,
she has a
I
cupcake
saw
company.
it online.
Right. And then we had 2.5 years break again, and we had Brianna. She just started her own body scrubs and body butter business.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could get a spa in a bag, she calls them, if you want to do that, yeah. And then we had a break. So, when we had Brianna, we had 2 boys, 2 girls, and we thought, okay, well, that was it. Because when we found out we were pregnant with Brianna, we got a lot of backlash from a lot of people. And it's like if we were doing something wrong by having
Backlash?
children. Can you believe it? Remember one person asking me specifically, are you all trying for a puppy? Yeah. So we had that kind of thing to deal with, and that was difficult, to say the least, to put it very, very mildly.
This is after 4, and this is when you were pregnant.
This is when I
with
was
the
pregnant with,
fifth.
no, this is when I was pregnant with the 4th.
Okay.
When I was pregnant with the 4th. It was like it was an evil deed we were doing. We were married happily so. We never asked anybody for anything. We don't ask anybody to buy Pampers. We could take care of our children. God provides. Yeah. We could go to on vacations and stuff, and those are the kind of things we had to deal with. So it took a lot. When I found that I was pregnant with the 5th, so this is 4 years elapsed. When I found out we were pregnant with this 5th child, I was like, God, you are not serious. But there is something about being delivered from the opinions of others.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's
And-
freedom.
Absolutely.
That is freedom.
Absolutely. And so when I found that I was pregnant with the 5th child, I told the Lord, I said, listen, anybody coming at me, I'm not someone to curse and stuff. I love Jesus, right? I'm not someone to curse and that kind of thing, but I said, Lord, I'm going to answer them accordingly. So I was ready. And so we found out we were pregnant. About 6 weeks later, we miscarried. It was the first miscarriage we ever experienced. But it actually wasn't a full pregnancy, according to my doctor. It was a missed miscarriage, meaning my body had symptoms of being pregnant. There was a sac that was formed, but there was no baby being developed in the sac. So I said, okay, all right, Lord, I don't know what you're saying here, what you're doing, but all right. And because I was angry with him for a good 24 to 36 hours.
Okay.
When I found, I said, this is, you caught me off guard with this. Now and by the time I got over myself, and I was like, okay, Lord, you're the giver of life. I will rejoice. And then I found out I miscarried the baby. I was really upset with the Lord, really, really upset with him. And, then we got pregnant again. Now, we're not trying, huh? We are not trying. But here we are. This is in 2011. Yeah, 2011, we are pregnant a second time. This time, there was a baby in the sac. We went and we heard the heartbeat at 7 weeks and everything. And at 9 weeks, we miscarried.
Wow.
It's like, okay, I'm numb now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But during the entire process, the Lord taught me that it doesn't matter what others have to say about this. I want you to be pregnant and enjoy the whole experience as you've done in the past. Have nothing to say to anyone if they come at you with anything negative. And so when I learned that lesson, we were pregnant again. This is 3 times in 6 months. Yeah. So we were pregnant 3 times in the first 6 months of 2011, and that baby, we call him Joyful Joseph. That's God's son. We call him Joyful Joseph, and he brings so much joy to us. And so that's baby number 5. And then what my husband didn't realize that Joseph means, and the Lord shall add.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so after Joseph came Jesse, and then Kiara, and now, just recently, Desiree.
Wow. Desiree is how old?
Desiree is 4 months.
So you have a 4-month-old.
Yeah.
Give her a round of applause again. Wow. Okay, I'm surprised. I actually thought having that it was something that you always wanted. Like, where's the young lady in here who says she wants 6? Look at her right there. I want 6. You, Miss Ferrera. I want 6. She's excited. She was excited. It's gone down? The number's gone down?
It has gone up? Awesome. Let me tell you, God provides. He has made himself known to us as Jehovah Jireh. We survive on a single income, right? Wow. Yes, I have the business and stuff, but I mean, that's the income from that is sporadic. It's not fixed,
yes.
right? So we have one fixed income that comes from my husband.
So that leads me to my next question, which is, what has been the greatest challenge and how have you overcome? What would you say helped you to overcome?
It's ironic that the name of the talk show is Her Grace, because I always tell people Grace is my best friend.
Yeah.
Grace is truly my best friend. It's not cliche when I say I survive by grace, I live by grace, I walk by grace. Yes, by faith too, but grace.
Yeah.
Of course, it takes copious amounts of organization and everything. Sacrifice. I don't know, the Lord has a sense of humor, I always tell people, because just today alone, the amount of dramas that happened just to be able to get here.
Yeah.
The person was supposed to come and help me, she couldn't make it at the last minute. The person who I asked to come and stay with the baby and the other kids she came like just a few minutes before I got here, kind of thing. So it's challenging all around. But as a family, we always say, we are Team Rodrigues, and we try to make it work. We try to make it work. We have challenges like any other family, but we know who our source is, and we keep them in the center.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that answer, that means, so basically, your challenges, I can't say that it's no different, but you have 8 kids, so I guess, but it's no different than to somebody who might have 3 or 4, right? In terms of the same issues will come up.
Yeah.
A child may get sick. If you have 2 children, one can get sick. Yeah?
Yeah.
So people have this thinking that, oh gosh, if I have too many kids, how am I going to provide? And I know I have one, and I know that God provided supernaturally. Actually, a month before my daughter was born, my husband, he would always say, listen, I'm sorry, I have nothing against the general hospital, but he always said, I'd prefer you to have the baby in a private hospital. But at the time, we did not have the funds to do so, because when we checked it out, it was ridiculous, the prices.
Yeah.
And a month before Kristen was born, it was supernatural. God supernaturally provided every cent that we needed.
He does.
A month before.
He does.
And that's how we live, and I live by grace, and that's how we live as well. God provides for us.
Our first 4 children, we had them, all our children were born at private hospitals. The last 3 were at Sinclair. And the first 4, we had midwife deliveries, and it was about $6,000 or $7,000 to have Kiara and Desiree within the last 2 years. It's $20-something thousand vaginal delivery, no, nothing, yeah.
Wow.
And I actually said, honey, okay, but let me go to the Port of Spain General Hospital and let's just ease. And he just looked at me and he's like, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, he knows his wife.
So I want to ask how, so your husband has a very good job.
Yes.
Good. Okay, good.
But we're not rich. We're rich in Christ. we're not rich at all. I have to say that, but we make it work. Right. Actually, my next blog is coming out. It's called, the number has gone up since then, 26,150. And that number, a couple of weeks ago when I started writing it, was conservatively speaking, the number of diapers I've changed for my children.
Wow.
26,000. 150 diapers.
Wow.
Yeah. The number will go up because it's a couple, I left it alone and I have to, I'll go back to it. But yeah, the number has gone up.
Okay, so back to you, Nikki. Right. Now, this is close to my heart because, again, being involved in ministry and counseling a lot of mothers, young mothers, I've heard a lot of young women say that it's a challenge for them to be just being a mother, that they find it hard to be naturally nurturing, that they even find it difficult to love. And for me, it was so natural, but I do understand and I realize that it's not the same for everyone. What advice would you give somebody who feels that way or who has that issue? Not that they want to, but they really can't find it in themselves, so it's difficult. What would you say to someone like that?
Take it one day at a time. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. Because sometimes I think we look at the enormity of the task in front of us and the responsibility that we have, and it can be overwhelming at times. I mean, I have 8 children, I love them to pieces, but sometimes I'm like, was I crazy? because, you know, your days, especially because I don't have any time away from them. I'm with them 24/7. I teach them, I do everything with them. Yes, I chose to do that. That's the part that I chose. Well, God told me that's my destiny. So, you know, we made the decision, yes, we're going to accept what God's will is for our lives, and this is what it entails. But it's one day at a time. One day at a time. It will come, whether the mom happens to be in Christ or otherwise. Once you look at that little infant or that child, and that was birthed out of love, you know, and so that should really come naturally. But I understand that not everybody has it, but I think they should just take it one day at a time and just, you know, commit to doing what is right by the child. The child didn't ask to come here. So it's your responsibility as a parent to do right by them. And I think you know, we were talking about, I think you mentioned feminism, or we talked about that at some point in time. Even within the church, a lot of people have subscribed to feminism, and we don't even realize it. So everybody's out to make money and to do this and do that at the behest of the family life. And we are reaping the consequences for that, because when you look around in society, that's the result. That's the end result, you know. I understand that everyone will be able to homeschool. But even if you send your children out to school, make a concerted effort when they come home in the afternoon to talk to them. And even when you're traveling home with them in the evening, talk to them, find out exactly what was put into their system during the course of the day, because chances are it's a lot of garbage. I remember one minister saying, in a book that I read, he said, you know, if we send our children out to be educated by Caesar, we will get Romans. So when we send them out, because a lot of the churches do not have their own schools, then we have to take whatever they put out there for our children. And so as a result, we could get all kinds of things. I remember when I decided to take my children out of the private school that they were at, one of the teachers called me, she says, Nikki, you did a fantastic thing. Because the next week or so afterwards, there was a little child in infants 2 who came to school with the knife that his father had just stabbed the neighbor with. You know, and why would he walk with that? Because that's the example that daddy is giving him. So even though parents may not actually tell their kids to go out and do certain things, if they're modeling those wrong behaviors, kids are picking it up and they'll go do it. Yeah.
So this is a question that I guess, okay, would you say that love should come natural, love for a child, to a believer? I could probably see someone who may not know God in a you know, particular way and not filled with the love of God. But I have actually encountered believers who have said that love is a challenge. Has that ever been an issue for you, where actually loving your own child is a challenge?
No, no, never been an issue.
So what would you say to a believer who says such a thing? Wow.
That's a tough one, Onikka. That person will definitely need to dig deep and really investigate the level of their intimacy with Christ. Because once you're intimate with love himself,
right?
I mean, that God is love.
Yes.
So once you're intimate with love,
yes,
then it should just flow naturally out of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So
yeah.
I think the intimacy might be a challenge there for that person.
Right.
So they need to fix that.
Yeah. So I mean, everybody, if you claim that you're a child of God, the capacity to love is in you. It doesn't matter how unruly a child is. It doesn't matter what the child says to you. Because children can get angry and say, you know, they blurt out things. I hate you. I don't know if anybody's child has ever told them that. They don't mean it. They're just angry and they want to get their own way. So you as a mother, you can't internalize that now and say, how could my child say they hate me, and walk around with this thought? You have to understand that you're dealing with a child who just wants their own way. And so if you're struggling with love, I would say you have to draw from the love of God, yes, that is in you. And if you still can't, then I'm being honest, I would question. If you, not even just your child, because some people have an issue just with love in general.
Yeah, others.
And so having the love of God in us as women, especially women, we are not only called, I think, to love our own children. I think women are supposed to be just naturally nurturing and all, you know, course, I'm not saying going around and, you know, hugging everybody's child, but you can't be selfish and just look out for you and your family. I think the love actually has to go beyond your home, where you can actually help your neighbor, help somebody at church. Nikki has 8 kids. I'm sure in your church family there are people who help you out, who come and probably babysit or no, yes.
Recently, yes, I have
Right.
to say it. Within recent times, yes. I would ask people to come and stay with the children if I have to make a trip.
Right.
So then, and I would normally take 1 or 2 kids with me anyway on the business trips,
Right.
right? So, but to say that I have a village, that's no, I don't.
But you have
that.
someone to cook,
That
surely.
No. Everything.
You have someone to clean, surely.
No, I do everything. I do everything. That's the thing. That's the thing. People often think, they assume.
Hold on, Nikki, 1 second. Because I have 1 daughter and 1 husband, as we all have, if we married 1 husband. Ever so often I would get, ask for some help, somebody might come over and clean because it's not my most favorite thing to do. You're being honest. How many of you all love to clean?
I do.
There are people who love to clean? Can you all pray for me after?
Impart the gift by laying on of hands.
And you're telling me with 8 kids and your husband travels, you cook and clean and you don't really have babysitters per se?
No.
Okay, can we give another round of applause?
Oh gosh.
Okay, now
Seasons.
that is amazing and that is her grace. Yeah?
Absolutely.
But I honestly believe, right, this is my opinion, that women are stronger than they let on. And that most women are capable of handling their story, so to speak, in Trini, that most women are capable that they can cook, they can clean, they could see about their husband, they could see about, yes, and ladies, that you sometimes feel super. How many of you feel super sometimes? Like, I'm a super, you even say, do you feel like some kind of superwoman or what? Huh? But that's fine. I have the grace to do whatever I need to do. But I believe women are strong and very, very capable. And so I am actually not surprised, Nikki, that you can do that. And you have 2 businesses as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And I manage my daughters as well, Princess Cupcakes and Bee Beauty.
And your business is at home.
Yes.
So it means you're home a lot.
I'm home.
So
That's
a woman
right.
with 8 kids might think they want to escape. Yeah? I need to escape. I need to be out of this house. Send them to school. School, go. But you're doing everything at home.
Everything at home.
That is highly commendable, Nikki.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me just say one thing. When you asked, sometimes people think that I came from a home that was a particular way, and
Yes.
that's what. But a lot, just to answer the
Yes.
question about loving people, I mean, we're struggling with loving
Yes.
their own children. I came from a home. This is not to throw my mom under the bus, right? She did what she could have done. She didn't know better. She's now in Christ, so her grandchildren are like, okay, all that on a bag of chips and dip, right? But when I was growing up, I did not get love from my mother.
Wow.
Did not. Right? In fact, what I should say, let me correct that. She communicated love in her love language, which was gifts. So she loaded me with whatever. But that wasn't my love language. My love language was quality time.
Yeah.
And I didn't get that from her. She preferred to give me gifts and stuff. So she was very distant. We didn't have a very good relationship at all. 7 years after I got saved, she got saved.
Right.
And that's when our relationship started to build and grow and develop into what it is today.
Wow.
But people often look and say, oh, you must have come from this home and that
Yes.
home. No. And I didn't have a father around either.
Wow, ladies, you all hear that?
Didn't have a daddy
So,
around.
I mean, you might think, I would guess, wow, she probably grew up in a wonderful home, had wonderful parents,
No.
nurturing, loving, but you're able to do it.
Absolutely.
You have the
With the
grace
help of
to
the
do
Holy
it.
Spirit, you can.
Yes, you can.
You
You
can.
can do it. Anything that God has called you to do,
Absolutely.
you
He
can
will
do
equip
it.
you.
You have been
He
graced
will
to do it.
equip you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I actually hear the excuse that you know what, I didn't grow up with love, so it's difficult for me now to show that love. So ease me up now, I didn't get it, so I can't give it. You know what, I don't buy that. I think, if you have God in you, if you have the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit in you, you can love. And how could you look at this little baby that comes from you and say that you can't love, So Nikki, that is very commendable. It has been a pleasure speaking with you, Nikki.